All right. Other news: there's a company called Exa taking a super unique approach. No idea if it's going to work or what it even actually translates to, but we've been spending a lot of time talking about enterprise, not enterprise, sorry, AI-based search. So the
Hmm.
fight, the battle going on between Google and the likes of Perplexity and U.com, and now OpenAI has their search. And it's this, and there is Google famously did their, what are they called, their red flag alert or whatever it was called, right, to say this was
Yep.
an existential threat with AI. Um, Interestingly, I was watching this podcast where a bunch of VCs were sort of playing like a football or baseball draft, where they were picking
Hmm.
teams with different companies, and one of them went basically was shorting or bearish on Perplexity because they were reporting that they looked at the actual usage numbers and it's still like a sliver, despite
Hmm.
people like us in tech that are using it. But in another case, I think what's interesting, this the Hexa is almost sidestepping this entire conversation because their premise, and you're more technical, maybe you can explain it better, but their premise is that they are using what are called embeddings to effectively take every web page out there and to convert it into a metadata structure like a database might function. And so when you're doing a search, it's not actually searching via keywords, it's actually using this deconstructed model to figure out what you're looking for. And the result is I can now ask it a question like, give me a list of the top 100 companies by revenue or something. And it just goes and builds me a table that has that data. I didn't fully get it myself, but that was the idea.
Yeah, so I love this idea because for decades we have been counting on indexes to and spiders to figure out how to do search over the web, and this is steadily declining as Google has lost their way and started messing up the search experience. And here's Exa coming in and saying, "Well, we're going to organize the web more from a language-based perspective. We're going to use the same type of logic that we're starting to embrace from a generative AI perspective and see and look at the web from that perspective." So it's both rebuilding the web search infrastructure as well as potentially providing more accurate results and doing something a little bit different from what Perplexity is looking at as well. So surprisingly, despite the fact that we're trying to break up Google search right now as a monopoly, it seems like new competitors are legitimately coming in with better mousetrap and opportunities to support a new type of search. And we'll see if they catch on, but they're at least providing Google, a run for their money in terms of having to catch up in the search space.
Well, and it is important to note that they are not actually going after the traditional search space
Mm-hmm.
in the way you would think about it. I mean, one of the things about this particular approach is it is LLM based underneath the covers, and it's doing this very intricate sort of reasoning model using this data structure that is bet. So the founder talks about how you type in your query and then go get a cup of coffee because it's going to take
Mm-hmm.
a while.
Right.
So it's not really this direct competitor the way we think of the mundane kind of questions we ask. But I think as I think we talked about this last week, as I think some of that starts going to the true generative AI, where I just ask the random question, it spits out an answer. This is the counterpoint where I think the current perplexity type approaches struggle with that much deeper kind of question where I'm trying to really mine data that's sitting on the internet to figure out what's going on. And that's what this is trying to solve. So I think it's going to be really interesting to see if it catches on, if this becomes a tail wagging the dog and Google starts doing some of this sort of stuff.
Yeah, sorry, I kind of skipped a step with search because I feel like the importance of search isn't just being able to say I'm looking for this, here's a website, but being able to say here's a topic. I want it to be well documented with all of the potential sources that are coming into place, and being able to weigh how important those sources are and how those sources are verified, and then being able to work with that across the entire internet. And I see X taking a better approach there. And, so Will Brick and his team, congrats on uh, really tackling this problem.